Dallas, Texas on the final Sunday night of the regular season and a few miles north in Irving, Texas Stadium. Sold out as always for the Redskins and the Cowboys. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann and Paul Maguire, wishing you the best this holiday season. As Norv Turner enters tonight's final game, he can only wonder what might have been. His team has won 6 of its last 8 games, including 4 in a row. But, Joe, that's not been enough to overcome that horrible 0-7 start.
It really hasn't, Mike. And he got a lot of criticism when this team was 0-7, but he certainly has to deserve an awful lot of credit for holding it together in the latter part of the season when they've gone 6-2. But in this 8-game stretch, one guy has jumped out and done a terrific job. That's Trent Green, his quarterback. He provides an awful lot of mobility at the quarterback position and has continued to make plays, and he's also done a great job of protecting the ball. In 8 games, he's just thrown 3 interceptions. That's protection.
And when you talk about turning a team around, our congratulations to first-year head coach Chan Gailey. He's taken a Cowboys team from 6-10 to winning the NFC East. But, Paul, instead of charging into the playoffs, they come limping in, especially on offense.
Well, this offense has only scored 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games. And talking to Troy Aikman, Larry Allen, and Emmett Smith yesterday, they said they would like to play long enough to correct this thing. But Chan Gailey, the head football coach of this team, said, look, because we're playing a playoff game on Saturday, the starters will only see limited action.
All right, Paul, Emmett Smith, 1 rushing touchdown away from a new NFL record. Darrell Green looking to close strong for the Redskins. Next on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. Back at Texas Stadium in Irving, let's go to the sideline to our colleague Solomon Wilcox with Washington head coach Norv Turner.
Thanks, Mike. Norv, you managed to win 6 of your last 8 games after the 0-7 start. How have you managed to turn things around?
Well, I think the key, Solomon, is that our players have continued to believe. And if you believe in what you're doing, then you always have a chance, and we've had that.
Now, without Deion Sanders playing in tonight's game, how does that change what you're able to do on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, the Cowboys have done a good job adjusting to not having Deion, but you can't replace a player like Deion. He helps you in so many areas, not only on defense.
Okay, thanks, Norv. And, Mike, the Redskins are trying to prevent the Cowboys from becoming the first team in the NFC East to win all 8 division games in a single season.
All right, Solomon, there's Chan Gailey, his first season at Dallas. He has his club in the playoffs. They will play the 4 o'clock game next Saturday right here against the Arizona Cardinals. Brett Conway out of Penn State to kick off. As Dallas has won the toss, elected to receive, Billy Davis and Tyrone Hughes are deep. Davis 87, Hughes 32, the former New Orleans Saints Pro Bowl return man. Hughes from the 5. Straight up the middle. Tyrone Hughes across the 40. The Dallas offense has Troy Aikman at the helm. His numbers are down this year, only 12 touchdown passes after missing 5 games with a broken clavicle. The other members of the Big Three are back. Smith among the conference leaders in rushing, and Irvin with over 1,000 yards receiving. Up front, power on the left side. Allen and Newton are both going to the Pro Bowl. Inexperience in the middle with Kiselak and Adams. Patrick Jeffers, the only wide receiver on first down. Emmitt Smith off the left side. Cuts it back, picks up 5 across the 45-yard line. For the Redskins defense, Wilkinson, one of 2 big-money defensive tackles, leads the club in sacks. The other, Stubblefield, out with a knee. Any consistency in stopping the run has come from the linebackers. Patton leads the team in tackles. Smith is second. The secondary has had problems everywhere except Darrell Green's corner. The 7-time Pro Bowler was superb again in his 16th year, and he says he plans to come back for a 17th. Blitz picked up. Aikman throws complete across midfield to Billy Davis. Hammered down immediately, but it's going to be very, very close to a first down. You saw him come up right at our gold 1st and 10 line.
Troy Aikman, in visiting with him, said that over the last 3 or 4 weeks, teams have really decided to come after him. And it looks like that's exactly what Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, wanted to do. Brought the blitz right away on 2nd and short.
It doesn't show up in the number of sacks, but he has been getting pounded.
It wears and tears on a quarterback. I mean, the amount of times they credit sacks is far different from the hits that you take through the course of a season.
First down, Cowboys on their opening possession. Mike Nolan, who has been under fire this year as the Redskins defensive coordinator after getting kudos a year ago in the same position.
Those kudos go away, very fast.
Well, when you're giving up 152 yards a game on the ground, you don't get many of them. Emmett. A couple. Marvcus Patton with the tackle on the last play. The Cowboys offense has disappeared during the month of December. Only 11 points a game, 71 yards rushing per game. The third down conversions almost 1 out of 4, and only 2 offensive touchdowns. They did not have one a week ago against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And Nate Newton is limping off the field.
A leaner, meaner Nate Newton.
I think he put a little bit of that back.
He was really out of shape a year ago. Aikman with time in the flat. Billy Davis first down at the Redskin 35 in front of Chris Dishman, who has had a tough year after a brilliant 97 at corner.
Larry Allen is going to the Pro Bowl, and this guy is one great tackle. He's not as big as most tackles as far as height is concerned, but just look at him play his position.
You watch Troy set and throw. The best timing quarterback in football. Billy Davis does a nice job of driving Chris off, comes back to the ball, and it's perfectly thrown, as most of Troy's are.
Emmett off the left side, cuts back behind a Johnston, blocked to the 31-yard line. Jamal Duff made the tackle for the Redskins.
Emmitt Smith was talking to us yesterday about how much he missed Moose Johnston. Daryl Johnston. Watch this block and watch what Daryl Johnston does, number 48. All right, he goes out here, he gets off a block, and then he helps Emmett by getting another block on Chris Dishman.
And I think it's going to be really critical to be able to shut down this Cowboy running game, that the safeties and the corners are up there to make plays at the line of scrimmage for the Redskins.
Sherman Williams, number 20, is in to give Smith a breather. Aikman with time and tipped away at the last moment. Saved by Stanley Richard, who just got a fingertip on it. Billy Davis was open.
A wonderfully designed play, a little play action up inside, hopefully holding Stanley Richard. But Stanley does a good job of running. Billy Davis goes across the formation now. There's Stanley Richard, number 24. The ball is thrown well. He just makes an excellent play on it.
Well, that really is a terrific adjustment by the safety. I
mean, it really is.
To get there.
Just got a fingertip on it.
Four-man rush. Aikman throws, knocked away, almost picked off by Darrell Green.
Oh, man, you talk about 16 years in pro football and getting a jump like this on the ball. Darrell Green said, I love to play against great receivers. And when you watch what this man does, it is just incredible. Here he is on Michael Irvin. Watch him anticipate, go inside, and almost get the interception.
And since the day I've known him, since he's been a rookie, he's got great feet, great anticipation, but he's always got his hands on backwards. He just doesn't catch as many as you think he could.
He only has 47 career interceptions.
He could have had 70.
Richie Cunningham with a 49-yard field goal attempt, short. So the Cowboys with a good drive, but they come up empty. Here at Texas Stadium, their offensive troubles continue. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By GMC Sierra, for those who demand more from a truck. By AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by the United States Marine Corps, where the change is forever. 0-0, first quarter from Texas Stadium in Irving. Darrell Green, at age 38, he will be 39 shortly, one of the 5 oldest starters since 1970 in the National Football League, still runs under a 4.3 40. He might play forever. Trent Green throws incomplete. Michael Myers putting the pressure on him.
Michael, I want to go back to the play that Darrell Green made on Michael Irvin. 2 things happen here. Number 1 is experience and his anticipation. You see where he's lined up. He's going to wind up on the inside route of Michael Irvin. He moves over into position. Now he takes away the post. Now, as soon as Michael breaks, Darrell breaks, and then he breaks on the ball. That's anticipation with a little disguise and excellent reading of the quarterback.
One of the best to ever play the game. Green to throw again in the flat. That's his tight end who has moved to fullback, Mike Sellers. Here's the Redskins offense with Trent Green at quarterback in the last 8 games. Incredible numbers, 15 touchdown passes, only 3 picks. Injuries to Terry Allen and Skip Hicks moved Stephen Davis to tailback. Dallas has had trouble with big backs this year. The offensive line has been shuffled all season because of injuries and inconsistency. Joe Patton has been the steadiest player up front all year. 3rd and 3. Brian Mitchell is in for the Skins. He's number 30. End around. Shepard caught in the backfield and dropped immediately by Greg Ellis. The rookie stayed home and made the play.
You know, normally when you're going to run a reverse like this, you would run it to the rookie. But Greg Ellis, what he's told to stay home, he reads it perfectly, and he makes the stop. And again, you know, Joe, you would. If you're going to call a reverse, just run it to a rookie because he's going to fly down the line of scrimmage.
Matt Turk, who will go to the Pro Bowl as the NFC's punter, averaging 44.6 yards a kick, will punt it away to Tyrone Hughes. Partially blocked. Looked like Hayward Clay got it. Still loose. And I don't think Joe Avezzano was really thrilled that his guys touched it after it was downfield.
This is one where they get pressure right there. You're going to see the move inside. Takes an excellent angle. There he comes inside all by himself. Great individual effort. That's just somebody wanting to get to the punter. What great individual effort. Look at him sell out and go after that thing.
1st and 10 Cowboys at the Washington 46-yard line.
Joe Avezzano, who has always had one of the best special teams units and whose face was made for television.
Got his own country western band. They got everything. He got it all going.
Sherman Williams is now out as a flanker, and he comes in motion. He'll get it on the flanker around behind Johnston. Got a big block. Hauled down by Stanley Richard at the 22. You know, so both teams pulling out a few.
Yeah, they do. But this time, Jamal Duff is on the end, number 92, and he goes inside. He doesn't stay outside where he's supposed to. Watch 92 on the end of the line. Here's Duff. He gets caught inside. Actually, Johnston doesn't have to block anybody until he gets downfield.
It's just the opposite of what we saw Greg Ellis do. We saw great discipline on the play before.
All right, watch what Duff does. Now, see him sell himself inside, and once he does that, Moose Johnston, number 48, doesn't even have to block him. They just leave him alone.
The rookie plays it right. The veteran does not. Emmett cuts it outside. Oriented running game under Chan Gailey than it was under Barry Switzer.
And it really placed a great strain on Emmitt Smith, having to learn the disciplines of the footwork. That was his biggest problem. He spent time trying to figure out exactly what he wanted to do. Clarence Selman is the running back coach, and he went to Clarence and finally said, hey, look, I'm having a terrible time here. I can't get this. They looked at a lot of film. Chris Warren helped them. resolved it, and there you see the result. Big gains on 1st and 10.
Almost like Arthur Murray. You put your left foot here, then your right foot. Aikman with time over the middle, incomplete. Tried to get it to his tight end Bjornsson, but he couldn't come up with it at the 10 mark because Patton, the middle linebacker, was there. David LaFleur, the big tight end, 272 out of LSU, has a sprained right knee and is out of the lineup tonight. And they hope to have him back for the playoff game on Saturday. David LaFleur, who's 20 catches, lead the tight end group.
Sometimes mistaken as an offensive lineman.
Yes. 3 wide receivers set on 3rd and 5. Aikman flushed. On the run, knocked away by Theismann. Intended for Billy Davis.
Joe, these defensive backs of the Redskins are doing everything that they're asked to do. And I mean, they're covering all over the field. And Theismann makes another great play by a corner. Number 26 is Chris Theismann. Watch him stay with Davis. He stays, he stays, he stays. He sees Aikman going to the outside. He stays and then just goes inside and knocks the ball away.
So Cunningham, who missed earlier from long range, will try one from 35. He was short from 49. And Cunningham now 27 of 33 on the season, and the Dallas Cowboys take a 3-0 lead over the Redskins. Texas, the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, seeing his team back in the playoffs under his choice for the head coach, Chan Gailey.
I saw you talking to him on the field.
We talked for quite a while. Well, I'll tell you, he made a commitment to this football team to bring back the integrity and the pride and the coaching changes and all the problems they've had. He has done a terrific job of raising the level of this football team's pride and respect again. I give him a lot of credit.
Brian Mitchell, 9th in the conference in kickoff returns, but has had a whale of a second half of the season. Extremely dangerous. Stood up at the 22, then buried. Izell Reese, the first man downfield for the Dallas Cowboys. You're watching Sunday Night Football, 3-0. Cowboys over the Redskins. Back in a moment. Deion Sanders sidelined for the 5th consecutive week with a sprained big toe that prevents him from going from side to side, which is sort of necessary in this game as a kick returner or a defensive back. Stephen Davis pounded as he got just across the 25-yard line. On defense for Dallas, Lett was voted to his 2nd Pro Bowl. Very quick inside. Ellis and Myers, both rookies, man the ends. Very good linebackers. Strickland, the run stuffer, and Coakley, a sideline-to-sideline player with 4.4 speed. In the secondary, Mathis starts for the injured Sanders. That's a huge loss, of course. Woodson is on his way to a 5th Pro Bowl. Kevin Smith starts at corner in place of Deion Sanders. He's missed a couple of games with a bad back as he moves to the right side. Then Kevin Mathis moves in on the left, and there is Leon Lett, the 7-year veteran, shaken up on the last play.
The problem on the field is Corey Raymer, the center, lost his shoe, and he can't get it back on, so they had to take a timeout. We know coming into this game that the Redskins, what they had to do is double team Leon Lett, and they try. See him there. Yeah, they try. He makes the play.
Hervin McCormick, number 99, comes in his spot, and they're taking a look at his eye. Trent Green tries to dump it off to Sellers, and Sellers somehow catches the football at the 28-yard line with Randall Godfrey all over him.
Trent Green has done a good job in the latter part of the season through the 6-2 run, taking care of the football. Evidence you pointed out, Michael, earlier when we went through the lineups. 15 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. but he still has to challenge the defense. You need some big pass plays, and you look at the numbers since he's had the opportunity to play. He's still going to have to put the ball down the field in this game if the Redskins are going to be able to have some success on offense.
That was the first catch of Mike Sellers' career. He is out of Walla Walla. Green in trouble. Throws on the run. Steven Alexander, the tight end, who has become his favorite receiver with his 34th catch.
Joe, watch what Steven Alexander does. Now, he's going to run into double coverage, but what he does do is stay there. And he lets the defensive guys walk off. Watch, he's right here. Now he just stays right where he was.
And Steven Alexander has really become a favorite of Trent Green's. This is what you have to do as a quarterback. You have to know when to get out and go make plays. We've seen Jake Plummer almost patent it now in this particular season. Now Trent Green winds up scrambling out making a big play.
Green rifles this to the sideline, complete to Leslie Shepard. He should have another first down at the Dallas 37-yard line. They are playing, of course, without Michael Westbrook, one of 9 starters on injured reserve. Rich Owens, who would have been a starter at defensive end, was hurt in preseason. He is a 10th guy who would have been in the starting lineup. And the ironic part is they lose all the guys they were counting on, and now they're winning.
And the reason why is because they've got guys on the field who are taking advantage of the opportunity. It's got a renewed enthusiasm to this Redskins the second half of the season.
Play action by Green. Good protection. Oh, Shepard, what a catch. Holy cow, what a grab by Leslie Shepard.
Trent Green's pass complete to number 86, Leslie Shepard.
In his own quiet way, Leslie Shepard coming into this game, 7 touchdowns, 38 receptions, averaging almost 17 yards a catch. Here he works across. Now, Trent Green is buried back in that pile of people. He just extends himself and protects the ball. Look at that. Reaches out, brings it in, and protects the reception.
First down, Redskins. Davis. Lett, who's back in the lineup, got him as he reached the 20. Lett had been hit in the eye, apparently not too serious. He was back in immediately.
You know, talking to Trent Green yesterday, and what a nice young man, and ask him about with Deion Sanders out of the picture. What does that do for your offense? He said, now we can play offense. We can use the whole field now. Before we only had one half of it. That's huge. He is something, this guy. That's the best corner I've ever seen.
Four-man rush. Green to his tight end, Alexander. He fumbled the football.
That's going to be Cowboy ball, I think. Of course, it's a scrum now.
Corey Raymer, number 52, the center, was down there, and it looked like the ball bounced back at him.
Now, this ball could have exchanged hands at least 2 or 3 times at this point. I mean, really, the key is to have a big guy get under there and start pulling.
Cowboy football. Huge play by their defense that shuts down a great-looking Redskin drive.
That's the key. You got to have a big guy down there, Chad Henning. You need the biggest guy you can find to get in the bottom of that pile.
Former Air Force fighter pilot. I'd like him after it. Alexander talking to Nora Turner. Godfrey reached in and knocked it loose for Dallas. 4:26 to go in the quarter. 3-0 Cowboys.
Larry Allen, all-pro, going to the Pro Bowl, and there's a reason for it, because he is a tremendous tackler. He's going to block 3 different people. Watch this. He pulls out and gets on the linebacker. Then he's going to block inside and come back out and block on Duff. Now watch this. Now he blocks inside and Boutte. It just keeps him to the inside where he can't get back to the play.
They've run behind him 4 times for 38 yards. He doesn't need any help. And his man has not gotten near the quarterback. When he can get his arms out on you and that punch, it's over. After the fumble, Dallas takes over at the 11. Emmett cuts it outside, then all the way outside. Darrell Green forced him out of bounds. We are so used to seeing Emmitt Smith go straight up the gut, anywhere between the tackles. It looks odd to see him running outside all the time.
But, you know, it's a new discipline for him. I mean, it really is, and he really struggled with it early. Watch how he starts. They want to go outside the tackle. He stays with... Now, you saw the hole open up inside. In the past, he really would have cut it back up. But now he stays with the discipline and picks up the yards they needed.
Aikman wants to screen to Emmitt. Caught from behind. That's a heck of a play by Kennard Lang.
I'll tell you, when you've got defensive linemen that can move this quick on the outside, Kennard Lang is the left defensive end, number 90. He reads the screen and he gets back and makes a tackle. And it's not easy bringing Emmitt Smith down by yourself. Kennard Lang, look at him, number 90. Watch this. He reads screen. Now look where he comes from. He's going to get help coming back to the inside and makes the play. No first down.
Speed is Kennard Lang's game, the 17th overall pick in the 97 draft. Sherman Williams is in on 3rd and 3. Aikman, the quick out to Urban, and Darrell Green stuffed him in his tracks. What a play by Darrell Green.
Of all the things that we talk about regarding Darrell Green, the thing that I've always been impressed with is his ability to break on the ball. His quickness to get from 0 to however fast he needs to go. Michael just steps up, and Darrell just breaks. And he's a heck of a tackler. You know, everybody says he's just a cover guy. He's a small guy. He's a tough little guy as well.
Look at him laughing.
He's loving this.
He's
absolutely loving this.
I told him yesterday he's going to be the first 45-year-old defensive back in the history of the NFL. Toby going to kick. Brian Mitchell is deep. Telling everybody to get away, and Fair catches it at the 49. 33-yard punt and no return. Darrell Green, not only a solid tackler, 4-time NFL fastest man. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam high above Texas Stadium for ESPN's Sunday Night Football.
Returning to play, 1st and 10 Redskins.
Oh, that Comet missed the stadium again.
Whew, thank goodness.
Dodged another one.
And they'll whistle this play dead. There was movement before the snap of the ball. First flag of the ball game. Our presentation of the College Bowl season continues Wednesday. It starts at 7:30 with Bowl Game Night live from Tempe, Arizona. That's followed by the Culligan Holiday Bowl, number 16 Nebraska against 6th-ranked Arizona. Darren Woodson not in the Dallas lineup. We'll update you on that as soon as we get some information. Davis hasn't had much room tonight. Certainly doesn't on that. Gains 2 and no more.
You know, the interesting thing talking to Norv Turner yesterday, Joe and Mike, is that he was saying in the 0-7 run, he said, we played pretty good football. We'd drop a ball, we'd fumble here, we'd throw an interception there, we'd blow a coverage. And you look at going down the field, Steven Alexander drops the football. I mean, he gets hit, he knocks the ball out. It went right back to that, what he was saying. And without those mistakes, this is a pretty good football team.
A lot of people thought they would win the NFC East. That 0-7 start put an end to that. Green, lofting one. Shepard, Leslie Shepard knocked out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
He just accelerated away from Kevin Mathis. He stays with him. He gets on top of him by about a yard and then stays real physical. And the thing about Leslie Shepard, he's only 5'11", 185 pounds. And you say, well, maybe he's a little frail. Mathis tries to jam him. He gets on top. But watch him go. He runs right to the ball now and then shows his speed and acceleration.
Look at the air under this ball. That ball was perfectly thrown.
Shepard career highs in every category, and the Redskins have to burn a timeout as the play clock was winding down with 1:18 to go in the quarter. Trent Green has been sharp so far. 7 out of 8, already over 100 yards. And he's hit his last 7 passes.
You know, and it tell you something else, too. It's not that the Redskins have not had people open. We watched the film of the last Dallas Cowboy game when they really got pummeled. They had people open. They just couldn't block them. I think one of the big problems they've had on offense for the Redskins has been the line. And Dave Campo is putting a lot more pressure on Trent Green. We've seen him have to flush out and move around. You talk about a guy who feels like he's lost his safety blanket. When Deion Sanders went out, Dave Campo had to change everything he did defensively because of that one man's ability, as you pointed out, Paulie, to play one half of a football.
But the domino effect is that all the special teams, I mean, when Deion Sanders went out, it affected a number of players, not just one.
Davis behind Sellers inside the 7-yard line. And it's not just Deion's absence physically. It's the emotional shock to the team, offense, defense, and special teams, that he's not around.
Number 69, Rod Milstead, who was with the Miami Dolphins at one time. Watch the block he gets. He's the right guard, blocks, and inside. The hole opens up. Look at this block. And Chad Henne, that's beautiful.
2nd and 3 for the Redskins. Davis, stutter step in the backfield, goes nowhere. Gang tackle. Leon Lett and Fred Strickland led the way.
Down at this part of the field, Joe, you don't have time to do this. No. You don't have time to stand there and dance. You either hit the hole or you don't.
Well, the guy, Greg Ellis, is the guy who gets the penetration. Greg Ellis is 3 yards deep in the backfield, which causes Stephen Davis to have to change direction. This is an area where the Redskins have also improved tremendously. Watch this. Watch number 98 wind up. There's number 98. He's got everybody piled up. Now here come his friends to help out.
The Redskins' best offensive lineman, Trey Johnson, another one of those guys on injured reserve. Trent Green got away from the pressure, throws in the end zone, caught by Shepard. It looked like it was intended for Alexander.
No, I see a lot of people misinterpret that when a quarterback throws the ball. You know, quarterbacks have particularly unique eyes.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, what happens is Trent Green saw the defense, and he saw behind Alexander that Shepard was going to be running. See how he turns? This is thrown to Shepard all the way. He's not going to throw it that far behind Alexander. What a terrific pass. Only seen through the eyes of a quarterback. He's not going to, you know he's not going to miss him by that much, guys.
Very
Excellent.
nice try.
Thank you.
Leslie Shepard, 4 catches, 70 yards in the first quarter. You should have been a public defender. End of the first quarter. The Redskins have taken the lead over the Dallas Cowboys. Redskins have taken the lead 7-3, and that last drive may be a perfect example of how Deion Sanders' absence hurts the Dallas Cowboy defense.
Well, yesterday, talking to Chan Gailey, when he came in, he was kind of somber about the fact that Deion was on. But when Nerve Turner came in, he was just smiling. So we're very happy he's not here.
Well, yeah, nobody's thrilled. Nobody is disappointed that he's not there if you're playing against the Cowboys. And as we said, Dave Campo now is saddled with the responsibility of having to figure out, where do you put the safeties now? You know, talking to Darren Woodson, he said, now I have to become a real safety. I have to go back and keep an eye on what's going on with the cornerback position. When Deion was in there, he knew that that part of the field was taken care of.
Missing his 5th straight game, and there are serious doubts whether he will be back next week for the playoffs. Tyrone Hughes from the 8 has another seam. And Hughes fights his way up to the 35. ABC's exclusive presentation of the Bowl Championship Series begins Friday, January 1st at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. UCLA against Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl at 8:30. Ohio State and Texas A&M in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. On Saturday, January 2nd at 8, the FedEx Orange Bowl, Florida and Syracuse. And on Monday night, January 4th at 8, the National Championship game. Tennessee, Florida State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Emmitt Smith back in at tailback as the Cowboys start just shy of their own 35. Throwing deep and caught. down to the 15. Michael Irvin with the grab over Darrell Green, who ran with him shoulder to shoulder.
That's how you take advantage of a size mismatch. We saw it in the last series. They tried to throw a quick hitch to Michael. He doesn't get a chance to get his body near Darrell. Michael now works just purely to the outside. He can't outrun him, but he can physically push him, move him, and when the ball is thrown that perfectly, there's nothing you can do defensively to protect.
Great throw by Aikman. Emmett. This time up the middle. Burst to the 5.
Well, this is what you asked for, Emmitt Smith running up the middle of the field. But I will tell you one thing. Emmitt Smith talks about it. I will find Larry Allen, number 73, and I will run behind him. Larry Allen's on the right of the screen. Look at the double team here. And Larry Allen just opens up the hole. Emmitt Smith goes up the middle for 9.
I got to be honest with you. The Redskin linebackers have really been vulnerable so far in this game. Whether they've hit the perimeter or they run up the middle. Jones, Patton, and Smith have got to do a better job at the linebacker spot for the Redskins defensively.
Second and short. Emmett up the middle to the goal line. No signal as yet. He will be just shy. And the reason the crowd is upset maybe in an extra way is that would have been his 124th career rushing touchdown. That would have been the best of all time. He may get the ball again.
Oh, I would think so.
Take a look at this hole. Look at the job they do. The linebackers are nowhere to be found. Look at this hole. That's a good job by Evans coming up making the hit.
First and goal. Emmett for the record. Got it. A standing ovation. Nobody deserves it more.
And he told us that he really wasn't thinking about it. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
Everybody else was.
That's so great. One of the real class acts in this game accomplishing what he just did. Look at that. The grin is still, the smile is still there.
They have had a lot of off-the-field problems, of course, in Dallas in recent years. Emmitt Smith has never been part of it. He has been a wonderful role model, along with being a Pro Bowl player. Cowboys back on top in their rivalry with the Redskins. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Foster's Australian for beer. By Gateway, let's talk about your gateway. By Charles Schwab. And by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Emmitt Smith has always been one to keep his touchdown balls. As a matter of fact, he has them put away at their facility.
Well, you know, the nice part about this thing is that everybody knew that he was going to get the football in the hole that they opened up with Williams and Flozell Adams on that side. Take a look at the left-hand side of the screen, and you're going to see the hole. Just outstanding blocking at the point of attack. Kiselek, the center, got a great block, and the hole was there.
There's the ball. Look at that, man. So happy, so deserved. Now what do? You write down the date, you write down the number, and you stick it someplace real quick so nobody can see it. Hurry up, hide it. Quick, get it in there. Don't move the helmet, get it in there. There you go.
High short kick from Goen. Mitchell at the 19. Trying to get to the outside. Cuts it back and is ripped as he got to the 29-yard line. Darren Hambrick drilled it. Emmitt Smith has passed Marcus Allen with 124 rushing touchdowns. A marvelous record for a great player.
You keep thinking records are being set and nobody will break them. Have to send congratulations out to the Minnesota Vikings, who today broke the all-time scoring record, which is now a new number. Excuse me, it was yesterday.
How's it feel being second again?
Thank you. Well, you hammered away at it last week. You were disappointed they didn't do it last week.
Well, you know, one of the records, we want it when we're doing the game.
Yeah.
Crowd's really into it now after the Emmitt Smith touchdown. Green floats it up there and throws it out of bounds, intended for Albert Connell, but he was double covered. Darren Woodson, the closest one to him. Darren Woodson had a sprained right ankle. That's why he was out of the game, but he is back in.
It was interesting talking to Darren. This game means more than just playing well as a football team. He said, we want to bury the Redskins. He said, I've been a part of a team when we struggled and the Redskins just kept pouring it on. He said, I really don't like them. And that's great to hear because that's the beginning of a new rivalry.
He mentioned the last game that they played at RFK where the Redskins just poured it on. Stephen Davis lowers his shoulder and burrows out to the 36-yard line.
But then there's Darrell Green yesterday said, I was sitting on a plane coming out here, and he played on the same team with Darrell, and he said, you know, Joe, it's really not what it used to be. He said it was kind of sad that here we are coming here, we're not playing for anything. Everybody thought we'd be playing for the division, but yet that rivalry is not there anymore.
3rd and 3 for Trent Green and the Redskins. 11:44 to go in the half. Muscles this one outside, complete for a first down to Connell.
One thing Norv Turner told us yesterday about this guy, Trent Green, he said he's smart. And when you were talking to him about the time that he spent on the headset.
Yeah, one of the things that Trent alluded to as far as understanding this offense, as Coach Turner was calling plays when he wasn't playing, when Gus Frerotte was out there, he listened to Norv on the headset call the plays. He now got into the head of the head coach, who happens to be the offensive coordinator. So he understands what Norv is thinking when he calls a play.
Davis dives across the 45. You mentioned Green was smart. He went to Indiana on a football scholarship only because he thought he might end up in marketing, and their business school had a great reputation. So he was thinking beyond football. He was cut twice at Indiana. Then he ends up being the 222nd player drafted out of 224. He is just now starting to get his due and his opportunity in football. Four-man rush, good protection, unloads in a hurry. Alexander has it to the Dallas 47-yard line where Darren Woodson made the stop.
We sat the other day and we watched the first game that these two teams played. The offensive line of the Washington Redskins, they were getting eaten up in that ball game. Now, Green has time to throw the football.
Plus, the other thing is Darren Woodson made the comment about Steven Alexander. He said, hey, look, this is a guy that we have to pay a lot of attention to. And I would say that when you look at the Redskins on offense, the one guy that the Cowboys are most concerned about was Steven Alexander.
3rd and 3. Brian Mitchell checks in as the 3rd down back. Here comes the blitz. Connell can't get there. Just overthrown at the 20. Kevin Smith had the coverage.
Oh, Trent Green's going to look at the film of this game and wonder, why didn't I just give the ball to Leslie Shepard? There is nobody on him. Absolutely no one. The Cowboys went after him, and he chose to go up top to Albert Connell, who just can't quite get it.
Redskins will have to punt it away. Tyrone Hughes waits back at the 10. Kirk, a driving kick toward the sideline and put it out of bounds. Paul Maguire's favorite strategy, and put it out near the 10, 11, 12, 12.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Nice job by Turk. A punt of 35. No chance of a return. Cowboys with a 3-point lead on the Redskins. Emmitt Smith has broken Marcus Allen's rushing touchdown record tonight, and he did it at home here at Texas Stadium to a standing ovation. He doesn't get them nightly, but it's close. Dallas with a 3-point lead and the football from its own 11. Aikman with time. Davis taken out by Darrell Pounds at the 31.
That is one guy that's going to have to step his game up. With Ernie Mills down, Billy Davis is having an opportunity to play opposite Michael Irvin. You know Michael's going to get attention, so you have to be the playmaker. Does a good job of driving off Pounds. Darrell gets totally lost, Billy does a nice job of coming out to make the play. And as usual, the ball is a perfect spiral throw him exactly where Troy wants it to go.
He is second in the conference in yards per catch, 18. Aikman again. Davis, another grab to the Redskin 45. Well, the offense is starting to look better. Maybe that Redskins defense is what they needed to see.
Well, the big thing is they're throwing balls down the field. You can't nickel and dime in football anymore. You've got to go down the field. This time, instead of running the out ball, they run the in ball.
Well, you want to know where they're not throwing the ball? They're staying away from Darrell Green. Look at him. He's out here on Michael Irvin, and Darrell Green is looking the other side of the field. Michael knew that pass wasn't to him.
So did Darrell.
To Ernie Mills, brought over by Chan Gailey from the Steelers, where he had him. Out on injured reserve. Green knocks this one away from Irvin, and flags come in late.
Darrell, I don't think you have any contest here.
No.
He hits Michael Irvin before the ball gets there. Even though he gets his arm out in front, you can't hit the receiver with your body.
Interference, 28 defense, first down.
You know, Darrell, you can't knock them all down.
He thinks he can.
Well, here's the bigger guy. Watch this now. Watch the contact. See, he hits him with his body before the ball gets there. Plead all you want.
Emmett picks up 4 to the Redskin 26-yard line. Marcus Patton with the tackle.
I was visiting with Dion on the field before the game, and he said, you know, we really have to come out and play well. We've got to get this thing going as we head on into the playoffs. He has echoed the same sentiments of every guy we've talked to at that Cowboys facility yesterday. Everybody said we've got to play better, we've got to get it going. And this is exactly what Chan Gailey wanted to see out of his football team.
Emmett Smith so far 9 carries, 40 yards here in the half. He's always had success against Washington. Gets another crack here. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, and cuts it outside. Emmett Smith. Touchdown. Holy cow, what a run.
You know, the thing about this thing, it's all Emmett. And watch his legs, folks. Don't look at the ball and don't look at all the blocking, because he gets some blocking. But watch his feet. They never stop. He moves back to the outside. He moves inside, and he sees the goal line. That was a great run.
26-yard scamper for a touchdown, his second of the game. Couple of missed tackles by the Redskins. Something that's hurt them all year. Cunningham for the point after. Emmett Smith, third in NFL history with 1,000 yards, 8 straight years. The Dallas Cowboys, who did not get an offensive touchdown a week ago and have had only 2 in the last 3 games, exploding on the Redskins here in the first half. They're up 17-7. Brian Mitchell to return the kick from the 6. Cut down shy of the 25. Let's go back to the touchdown, which apparently was not.
No, it was not, Michael. I want you to take a look at where Emmett Smith's knee hits the ground and where the ball is. There's his knee, okay? Here's the ball over there somewhere. All right, that's where the ball should have been marked. Now he reaches forward, winds up in the end zone. My question is, what is he looking at? He should be looking over here as well. This is the same crew that worked the New England Buffalo game and the Indianapolis-San Francisco game. That in itself speaks for some of the problems that have happened in football this year from an officiating standpoint.
Stephen Davis, room to run. One of the biggest proponents of instant replay is Redskins general manager Charlie Casserly. And he can add that one to his clip reel because with the ball in his left hand, Emmitt Smith was down at between the 1.5 and the 2-yard line. That wasn't even close.
Well, the problem is because the officials have no way of correcting what they think they see, it's going to cost some people jobs. I can think of the Jets-Seattle game as an example.
Davis again as the Redskins try to play a little smash mouth and get it up to the 36 for a first down.
I don't think there's going to be any question that there will be replay next year.
Yeah.
Now, they got to just figure out how they want to do it, because after this disastrous year, and there have been a number of teams that have been affected, the ones that have been voting against it got to understand something. If there's only one mistake that's ever made, it's an uncorrected mistake. Right. And we have the technology now that we can correct a mistake that's made on the field that will save a team.
Jerry Jones on the competition committee voted for it in the postseason this year. That's not going to happen, of course.
He was the only one on the competition committee that did vote for it.
Stephen Davis, this is the third time he's carried the ball in this series, and he's picking up some yardage. He picked up 9 on this play. This guy's got great feet.
Well, we said at the beginning of the telecast, Dallas has had problems this year with the big backs. And Stephen Davis, who is playing tailback tonight, 234 pounds. He's gained 21 yards and 3 carries in this drive. At Auburn, he was a workhorse and a marked man because they couldn't throw the ball very well. Still gained over 1,000 yards his last year. Davis again. He's got another first down for the Redskins. Out to their own 47. Dexter Copley tackled him.
Norv Turner pointed out to us, he said, one of the things we have to do offensively is we have to run the football better. You get down by 10 points in a game, a lot of people think that a coach is going to try and make it up. He's staying with his game plan. He's coaching his football team to keep him in the game because they're going to have to run the football at some point through the course of this game if they want to get back in it.
And that's what the offensive lineman wanted to hear, a commitment to the run. Leon Lett goes right through Brad Badger and flags fly.
You know, it's got to be a sick feeling when you're already committed. You can't stop.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, number 78 of the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Offsides against Dallas. Sign with Rigo, the Redskins, old school football. Guess who else is there? Yes, sir.
Old Joe.
Old number 7.
Why do you always punctuate old?
That's what the sign says.
I know,
Old Joe.
But the way Paul punctuates it. Thank you.
Trent Green back to work through the air. Shepard as Kevin Mathis gambled and missed.
I'm going to tell you what, Kevin Mathis, you can't play defense any better than he did without knocking the ball down. Look at this. He gets a jump on the ball, but that ball is perfectly thrown. Look at the ball to the outside. Kevin Mathis has no chance on this ball because of where it's put. I like the way Trent Green is throwing football. You know, this right now is a young Redskin team.
Green has already thrown for 134 yards, 5 for 79 for Shepard. Green drops it to Sellers. Boy, he just lowered his head and got what he could. Start your New Year's Day off. Davis again. All the way to the 20-yard line. Woodson had to make the tackle, and Davis starting to wear down that Dallas defense.
What a block by Mike Sellers, the fullback, coming up in the hole, and Stephen Davis didn't even hesitate.
Fred Strickland, number 55, tries to come up and fill, and look at the collision that Sellers gets on him.
I mean, this is beautiful. That's 45 on 55. The hole is there.
Davis again. And Sellers is the lead blocker at 6'3", 260.
Not only have the Cowboys changed what they want to do on offense with Chan Gailey being the head coaching coordinator, but they've changed a little bit more on defense. They used to play all 3 linebackers inside. Now what Dave Campo has done is he's got Fred Strickland in there as a plugger, and he's playing Leon Lett in an eagle position. What you see a Warren Sapp do or a John Randall do. He's using him in that type of a fashion as an inside tackle.
2nd and 7 for Washington. 2:38 to go in the half. Green with a short set, tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it looked like Greg Ellis was the guy who got a hand on it. Connell was wide open in the flat.
I go right back to this play. That was wide open. Ellis gets up, his hands up, number 98. Green knows he has a completion there, but watch Ellis. On the tackle, then up in the air. That's good defense. You can't get to the passer, get up in his face.
The tackles have to figure out a way to get the ends hands down if you're going to throw that pass.
Ellis, the first rookie to start at defensive end for the Cowboys since Bob Lilly in '61. Trent Green goes for the end zone. Looked like multiple possession. And Dallas intercepts Alexander, and it looked like Kevin Smith, or is it Godfrey?
But are they inbounds? That's the question. I mean, did they land inbounds, or was it an incompletion? That would be the first thing that comes to my mind, and I think that's the case that Trent Green is trying to plead.
There's a lot of things at work here. If it's multiple possession, it goes to the offense.
Mike, I don't know if they landed inbounds, because they certainly, watch where they wind up. Look at this.
Godfrey's inbounds.
Yes, he is.
But who has the ball? Obviously the Cowboys.
I think Godfrey was the first guy to get it. Heck of a play by Randall Godfrey. Cowboys with another turnover. They lead 17-7. Take over at their own 20. Sherwin Williams is in at the running back spot for Emmitt Smith. Aikman to throw. Completes it out to the 34-yard line to Eric Bjornsson. Aikman throwing the ball on time tonight and having success as we approach the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys will not try to run another play, and their offense showing some fire tonight here at Texas Stadium. They lead the Redskins 17-7. Coming up on the Toyota Halftime Report, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television. The Cardinals, congratulations. They make the playoffs. We'll take a look at the entire NFL playoff picture for you. We have 2 minutes to go from Texas Stadium. Cowboys with a 10-point lead and the football. Bjornsson to the 47-yard line.
I'll tell you, Aikman is on fire. I mean, he's putting the ball exactly where he wants to put it.
And the thing you talk about when you talk about offenses is you want to see them in a rhythm. They get up, they call a play, they get to the line, they run it. They get back in the huddle, they get right back. He is in a rhythm right now.
And they're not satisfied with a 10-point lead either inside the 2-minute warning. And watch this throw by Aikman. Not only does he gets it over the linebacker, there's just no chance, and into the hands of the receiver. That's perfect.
You know, going back to this controversial call in the end zone on the interception, watch Alexander's left hand come off the ball. Godfrey still has two hands on it as they go down. This illustrates how, we've seen this 10, 12 times, how difficult it is for that official to make that bang-bang call. He's got two guys at the sideline, two guys trying to get their feet down, multiple possession. He's got to make a call.
Well, what is possession and control? Alexander's out of bounds, so it can't be a touchdown.
Right.
That's obvious. But it doesn't look to me like Godfrey actually had control and possession when he winds up laying out of bounds. But again, Mike, you're right. It's so difficult to call. That's why the aid of replay, I think, would help.
The offense, 12 men in the huddle, 5 yards, still first down.
I mean, what the official must have seen, Joe, is when he waited all that time to go in there and look at the two guys on the ground and then make the call. It wasn't made as the catch was made, as the interception was made. This was made well afterwards.
Yep.
Which must mean what he saw was Godfrey having possession of the ball on the ground. That's the only reason Dallas gets the interception, but that is a tough call to make. Aikman pulls up. Caught at the 12. What a catch by Patrick Jeffords.
Patrick Jeffers actually runs away from Darrell Green. You're not going to see that happen very often.
How about never? 45-yard gain. Clock is running. Cowboys with plenty of time. Emmett is back in there. Excuse me, it's Williams. Stutter step from him, runs under Stanley Richard to the 8. Sherman Williams out of Alabama. Now Dallas will use its second timeout with 1:03 to go.
Patrick Jeffries, you see him up top against Darrell Green. Troy will slide around and buy some time in the pocket. Now he just starts running. Now he accelerates. And he stays ahead of Darrell Green, who can't catch up to him or the ball.
But look at this. Look where this ball is thrown. Jeffers, he gets him so far out to the outside that Green has no chance on the ball. Look at where the ball is thrown, Joe. I'm saying everything he throws is perfect. He's 10 of 14, 180-some yards, and that's perfect throws.
Actually, when you see the replay, Darrell did pick up a step on him, but the ball was so well thrown he couldn't get to it anyway.
I love what Darrell said about covering guys, Joe. He says, little guys that are my size and I cover, I can feel their speed. I know what they have. It's big guys that I don't.
The last 12 plays, you have the feeling the offense is just fine, thanks.
Couldn't have come at a better time.
Williams behind Johnston. Dives to the 5. Greg Jones made the tackle for the Redskins.
Well, Chan Gailey told us yesterday, if they're going to play on Saturday, they may only play a short period of time. The starters we're talking about. But like Aikman and Emmett, these guys were talking, they said, look, we got to get this thing straightened out. Our offense isn't doing anything. We want to stay in as long as it takes to get it straightened out.
3rd and 3 for Dallas. Johnston comes back in motion. For Irvin. Too strong, covered by Green.
Pass intended for number 88, Michael Irvin, incomplete. 4th down.
That will send on the field goal unit on 4th and 3 for Dallas.
Number 3, Richie Cunningham on from field goal attempt.
Aikman reviewing his performance on that last play on the Jumbotron screen.
I think he's happy with what he's doing.
Well, he wasn't thrilled with the last pass, but everything else he ought to be very happy with. This will be a 23-yard field goal try for Cunningham, who's 1 out of 2 tonight. Knocks it through, and the Cowboys take advantage again of the big play to Patrick Jeffers. That got them in position to score, and it's 27 Cowboys.
For just $4 and knock down 6 with any purchase.
We told you the Cowboys offense had disappeared during Christmas season. 11 points a game. They've already gotten 20 in the first half. Ho, ho, ho. Total yards per game, they have 282 in the first half. Almost 100 rushing and 2 offensive touchdowns. That matches what they did in the last 3 games. Well, the Christmas present didn't come before, but they'll take it afterward. Only 25 seconds to go in the half. Maston and Mitchell are deep. The squib kick will be down at the 40 by Sellers. The Redskins will start from there with 21 seconds to go.
Well, if this now, Trent Green is a year behind Jake Plummer, but if Jake Plummer had this much time, they might be able to score 10 points. I mean, what a job he has done for the Cardinals, getting them into the playoffs. I mean, he's playing like a guy who's just having a great time playing quarterback.
And talk about Christmas presents. He got a pretty good one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh. How about the end of that game? I mean, they only had 7 seconds. Throws 1 pass, gets in field goal range, and they score.
Chris Berman will bring us the complete playoff schedule at halftime. Only 21 seconds away. Green wants the screen, throws too strong. The Cowboys diagnosed that one rather well.
Well, Brian Mitchell couldn't get out. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys defense did a terrific job. McCormick is 99. He's on the right-hand side, and look at this. He gets chopped, but you take a look at what happens. First of all, the ball is overthrown, but the defense was reacting to the play.
Brad Badger, the Redskins left guard, was the closest man to that pass, and he was throwing a block. 16 seconds to go in the half. Green drops it to Mitchell. Looking for the sideline and got out of bounds at his own 48-yard line with 8 ticks on the clock.
Brian Mitchell on the reception.
Now, I think in this situation, I've said it before, you can work the middle of the football field, first of all, because you have timeouts. If the receiver catches the ball down the middle, he can call timeout. Doesn't have to be tackled. He can stop and call timeout right there.
Rather than trying to get extra yardage.
You're not going to need, you need about a 20-yard, 25-yard completion. Get it, catch the ball, call timeout right away.
Green's only hit 3 of his last 7 after 20 straight. In the flat, Alexander stays in bounds, then dives out at the 48 with 1 second to go.
Pass caught by number 8, Steven Alexander.
Emmitt Smith with 2 rushing first-half touchdowns.
Now you
have club to a 27 lead.
Now you have to take a shot at a big old jump ball, Big Ben, or whatever you want to call it, down the field.
You know, he sets the record. You see the other 2 names, Marcus Allen, who watched for years,
and Sweetness.
Yeah, Walter Payton. I mean, those are great names.
Pretty good company, huh?
And all different running styles, too.
Yeah.
All very distinctive running styles.
Here comes the Hail Mary. Green waiting as long as he can. Tipped incomplete. That's the end of the first half with the score. Dallas 20, Washington 7. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime report. We've played a half on Sunday Night Football at Texas Stadium, and the Dallas Cowboys coming alive on offense, leading the Redskins 20-7 at the end of 30 minutes of play. Troy Aikman hot in the first half, and it was the 3 amigos, Aikman, Irvin, and Smith, who did it again. They came alive tonight. Aikman 10 out of 15, 184 yards in the first half. Michael Irvin with the big pass play of the half against Darrell Green, and Emmitt Smith with 2 rushing touchdowns and the NFL record in that department. Brian Mitchell fumbles the opening kickoff of the second half and doesn't get back to the 10. An inauspicious beginning for the Redskins, and Sherman Williams downfield to make the stop.
Brian Mitchell on the return tackle by number 9, Sherman Williams.
On this kickoff return, watch Brian Mitchell. The ball, he doesn't concentrate on the ball. He's looking at the hole he's going to run into. You got to get the ball first before you run with it.
And
LaCharles, McDaniel, what else can go wrong tonight?
The thing is you know, everybody talks about coaching this, coaching that. Norv Turner's under a lot of fire. A coach doesn't drop a ball.
No,
a coach doesn't fumble a ball. The players have got to play better.
1st and 10 from the 8. Green, pump fake, wants to go long again. Oh, Shepard had a chance to catch the ball. What was Kevin Mathis doing?
Well, he was running towards the goal line.
That's about it, too.
Well, I mean, they come out. This is an excellent call. It's a pump and go. Norv Turner's going to try and come out up deep. He realized they got a lot of field. Kevin Mathis turns around. I believe he just lost the ball. Shepard, he doesn't look like he's stumbling at all. He has vision of the ball, and it goes right through his hands. That is typical of what the Washington Redskins did the first half of 1998.
And Shepard is about as reliable as they have in the receiver department. Mathis had 2 steps on his man, but just kept going. He really got a break on that play. And now the Redskins have to burn a timeout. And this looks like the Redskins of the first 7 games and not the last 8. Let's check in with our colleague Solomon Wilcott. Solomon.
Thanks, Mike. At halftime, I talked to Redskin head coach Norv Turner. And, before the game, he thought that his team would be able to run the ball on the Dallas Cowboy defense. He said that he still believes they can run the ball here in the second half. They have to remain patient. He says that the 2 first-half turnovers were very costly to his team. He said what he want to do, he wants to remain patient, believe they can make some big plays, they can run the ball, and get back into this football game. Right now, they're down by 13 points. He believes that they can come back and win this football game. Mike?
And Solomon, they did run the ball very well, specifically in that one stretch with Stephen Davis when he got the ball about 4 out of 5 plays. He ran very well.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, you can't throw a 50-yard pass, have it hit the receiver perfectly in the hands, and have him drop it. Norv Turner's been under an awful lot of criticism. He is one of the names that is mentioned as far as losing his job. I don't think he should lose his job. I think he's done a terrific job holding this football team together, and given the chance, I think he can get some playmakers on the field.
Based on what they've done in the second half of the season, I think most people would agree with you. This team has really responded to him. And Stephen Davis plows across the 10. We'll take a look at the first half numbers. The difference is in the turnovers. Dallas has racked up 282 total yards to 218, but the Redskins have turned it over twice. That is the big difference. Washington actually led in time of possession.
Isn't that amazing? Third down conversions, 0 for 4 for Dallas.
Well, and that's been their problem, but they've made up the difference in big plays. If you can't convert on third down, you better get 30 and 40-yard completions.
Well, the fact that they only had 4 third downs, they were hitting on first and second. Green, another pump and go. Into double coverage, picked off, and now ruled out of bounds. Caught by George Teague, but he didn't get his feet down.
What happens on this play is George Teague reads Trent Green all the way. When Trent Green pumps to the right, George Teague just breaks on it. Trent does nothing to hold him in the middle of the football field. If you just make the pump move in the middle, see him look out? He's pumping out there. George Teague is broken already, and he's already collapsed on the sideline and can't quite get both feet down.
The assistant coaches were telling the official to look up at the jumbotron and watch the replay. They were arguing it was an interception. Hughes back for the kick. Poor kick by Turk. There is a marker down. It takes a good Washington bounce down near the 40. There's a marker down back at the Redskin 35-yard line after a punt of 49. Great bounce for Turk.
Flag down on the play.
And now we'll check the marker. And a hold against the Cowboys. That happens so frequently with the Gunners running downfield on the outstretched part of the defense. If you can't block him, you got to hold him.
Or maul him. They do that too.
Holding on the return team during the kick. 10 yards. First down.
The big three did their job tonight, and it looks like their night is done. That's a pretty good half of work for those 3 guys.
I think so.
And they seem primed for next Saturday's playoff game.
Well, they wanted to play and get this offense straightened out, and they've done that.
The thing about Michael Irvin, too, is he has been so unselfish with us. He was cast doing a new role in this offense. Caught a lot of balls, but only had 1 touchdown.
Jason Garrett, the new quarterback. Sherman Williams is in at running back. Garrett, who has had a good season when Aikman was hurt, throws to Bjornsson, and Eric Bjornsson to the Redskin 47-yard line, first down. Gain of 26.
Makes you stop and think, okay, the Cowboys have taken their big 3 out. Now they've put in some other players, and nothing has changed. You'd think now that maybe there's some problem on that Redskin defense. Jason Garrett goes back, does a nice job of putting the ball, as we talk about, air underneath it, over Patton for the reception.
All right, let's look. We talked about Larry Allen in the first quarter and the second quarter. Now look at him in the third quarter. He's still in there. The offensive line is still intact. He gets his job done.
Patrick Jeffers will get a lot of work here in the second half. He's number 81. Williams hit in the backfield. Mark Boutte came through and got him first, couldn't hold him.
There were 3 Redskins in the backfield. I mean, nobody blocked in the middle of the line.
And it's still gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, he really gets back to the line of scrimmage. Dan Wilkinson and Mark Boutte, 93 and 95. Watch these guys. They're in the backfield. They're waiting. Marcus Patton, the linebacker, he's back there. And none of them make the tackle.
Garrett, the Redskins blitz. They pick it up. Darrell Green nearly had another interception in front of Billy Davis.
Jason Garrett does not have the arm of a Troy Aikman, nor will he have, I think, the rhythm in throwing the ball. That'll give Darrell Green an advantage if they try and throw the ball outside. This time he decides to take an outside technique, looks back. When Billy Davis breaks down, Darrell breaks on the ball. And we talked about Darrell's inability to catch the pass. This one certainly should have been intercepted. Watch this. It is going to hit him right in the midst, and he knocks it down.
What a wonderful thing to have great speed. You know that?
Oh, great closing ability, too.
How about a 38? Garrett waits patiently in the pocket, throws, and that one's out of bounds. That was intended for Jeff Ogden. Tim Denton on the cover. 5 games in relief of Troy Aikman when he was injured. 3-2 as a starter. Talk about a football family. His dad Jim is a scout with Dallas. His brother John is the Bengals receivers coach. His brother Judd is the tight end coach for the Saints.
8 kids in the family. Every first name starts with a J. They got stuck in the dictionary, and that's where it stayed.
You start running short, don't you? Mitchell is back to take the punt. Waits at his 10. Good high kick by Goen. Mitchell lets it bounce. They'll down it at the 5-yard line. Darren Hambrick was there to grab it and down it after a punt of 39. Most of the Cowboys starters are out. No difference so far. 20-7 Dallas. We are in Irving at Texas Stadium. Cowboys trying to get on a roll going into the playoffs. They're up 20-7. Stephen Davis stumbles and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Greg Ellis covered him up. The Washington Redskins are being sold by Jack Kent Cooke's trust. That's his son John, who is the Redskins president. A lot of published media reports say that 4 bids are the leaders, but John Kent Cooke says he is confident that he will be able to retain the team. He will get 10% of the proceeds from that trust. Plus, he's got some backers behind him as well. Connell on the slant. Breaks a couple of tackles. 26-yard line and a first down.
Now let me tell you something. I'll tell you what happened.
And
the official threw the flag on Albert Connell because he spiked the ball. The only reason he spiked the ball was because he hurt his knee and he was disappointed. That's an official that isn't really involved in what's going on in the game. That's a bad flag right there.
Well, maybe they'll pick it up.
He should. Absolutely should. That was a spiking of the ball in disgust at being hurt. He does a nice job of working inside against Kevin Smith. He's backing off. As he crosses the middle, he gets tangled up right there as he tries to make a break and gets his knee stuck, and then they land right on top of it. That is the only, and then he'll spike the ball. Watch this. He's spiking the ball. He doesn't throw it at Kevin Mathis for any reason. He throws it at him only because of his knee.
Well, the only thing that they see,
Half the distance to the goal.
the only thing they see is that him throwing the ball and hitting another player with it. And it doesn't make any difference why he did it, Joe. He just did it.
He didn't throw it at him, though. I mean, he wasn't purposely, maliciously throwing the ball. He wasn't trying to taunt anybody.
I understand it. But the rule states. I know that rule.
That's the problem. You know something? This is the problem I have. The officials live too much by the written rule, okay? I think that you have to look into the rules and be a part of the game of football and see what's going on. You know, sometimes the written rule, I think, is interpreted a little bit too harshly as we see it today.
And now they're going to come and talk to North Turner on the sideline because he's having the same contention that you are, and you could see that Connell's leg was bent under him. It's a question of whether the official believes that he was actually trying to throw the ball at another player or he was doing it because he was injured.
And the official's going to say, the rule is, and baloney. It's just baloney. It really is. I don't care what explanation Walt wants to try and give Norv. See, this is what I think the officials are a part of the game of football and have to be a part of what's going on.
Well, their judgment is certainly a part of the game, and that's someplace that if they did go along with your thinking, they could exercise their judgment.
They won't.
Well, but you got a guy sitting on the ground, Joe, and he sits up and then throws the ball and hits the opposite player in the back with the ball. And that's what they go by. I mean, they don't know why. They don't care why he did it.
I understand that.
They don't care.
I'm just saying that's the problem. I think you have to care and you have to understand a little bit more about what's going on in the game.
One of the great receivers of all time has just checked into the ball game. 16-year veteran Henry Ellard. The last game of his career, number 3 all-time in yards, number 6 all-time in catches, finishing out his career with the Redskins. And the strike to Henry Ellard at the 32.
I talked to Henry before the game. I says, is this going to be one of those things where you go back to coaching? And he told the kids he's going to go back and coach again, and you'll come back. He said, nope, this is it for me. Look at him set up the route. Moves inside, slides in the hole. Hasn't got his feet really set yet.
The coaches say he only runs 3 patterns, and they still can't cover.
And only has.
Well, he knows how to get open.
And he knows how to catch the football. He's been a great player for a long time. Spent a couple of games with New England before he was released. Green in trouble, and they got him back at the 20. Half of the Dallas defense came through. Michael Myers and Randall Godfrey on top of it.
Well, Trent Green has got to be able to read this. He gets some help. Stephen Davis, 48, steps up and makes an excellent block, but they just sent too many people. And he's got to be able to read this and get rid of the ball. Watch Stephen Davis, number 48. Excellent block. Boom, there on Coakley, but there's just too many people.
You read safeties, though, Paul, as a quarterback. Linebackers should be picked up by linemen and backs. Safeties are the ones you have to throw hot off of.
Green, Shepard dropped the ball. Picked up by the Dallas Cowboys. Randall Godfrey, who had an interception earlier, has a fumble recovery here. Kevin Smith knocked it loose from Shepard.
Wait a minute. Don't get ahead of it.
Catch?
Yeah, don't get ahead of it, buddy.
Redskins will argue that it was not.
Oh, here we go. We'll have it. There it is.
That's a catch.
Oh, yeah, it's a catch. The ball gets knocked out.
Now, remember what constitutes a catch.
We have talked to the officials about this. Both feet down with possession, and he was turning to make a move. That's a catch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question. He's up, he's down. Watch, both feet are on the ground. He's got it tucked away, getting ready to run.
This is a catch.
This is a lousy job of officiating. Really a loud, both coaches. Chan Gailey can't believe it. Norv Turner couldn't believe it before.
3rd down and 21 after the, quote, incompletion, unquote. Another blitz. Everybody coming. Green got it to Mitchell. Nothing there. Dallas is just swarming the Redskin offense.
I mean, there's only so far that you can retreat.
I go to Fort Worth.
He was closing in on
Well,
it.
there's a tunnel at the end of this building, but look at Trent Green, and he gets back, and then he gets his ball to Mitchell. Mitchell's upset because of the shot at the end.
That's an unbelievable throw for Trent Green to get that ball on the screen.
I told you, quarterback's eyes. He's just finding people.
Tyrone Hughes will wait on the punt from Turk. Beautiful kick this time. Hughes driven back to the 29. And takes it back to the 37-yard line. Brian Mitchell down on special teams for the Skins. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Texas Stadium for ESPN's Sunday Night Football. They ever going to finish the rest of that roof?
I wish they would. I spent a lot of time looking at it. I've been waiting for them to finish.
Well, at least you didn't spend a lot of time looking at that. Williams straight up the middle, gets to the 44-yard line. Start your New Year's Eve off right. 1 p.m. Eastern, College Bowl game day. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso. They'll preview all the day's games. Then at 1:30, the AXA Equitable Liberty Bowl with BYU against number 10 Tulane. Then at 5, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, number 19 Georgia against Virginia. And at 8:30, the Sanford Independence Bowl, Mississippi and Texas Tech.
There is still a Rose Bowl in there.
Yes.
Okay, just check. Every bowl has a name on it. I just thought still a Rose Bowl.
By now, it might be the .com something Rose Bowl. We don't know. Kennard Lang, the injured Redskin, will check on his condition when we come back. Cowboys on top, 20-7. Boy, they've really brought out the paint jobs tonight.
That's Belly Boy's brother.
Then again,
we've gone from one extreme to the other.
Yes, we have. 8:34 and counting, third quarter. Williams cuts it outside, dragged down by Derek Smith, got him around the ankles, about a yard shy of that gold ESPN 1st and 10 line. The Redskins haven't been able to stop the run, it seems, in 5 or 6 years. Not only haven't they stopped it, sometimes they have played defense like a sieve. And in 93 and 94, there were only 28 teams, so they were right at the bottom. Then they go to 30. They're 29th, last 28th, and 28th.
And that was supposed to be the area that the two tackles were supposed to help out.
Williams dives and very close to a first down.
When they signed Dana Stubblefield and Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson, they felt that they had shored up the middle of Mike Nolan's defense and that they would be better against the run. Stubblefield really came in out of shape and unused to this defense. It's taken Dan Wilkinson, who's played better, to really get comfortable in his new role in this defense. And consequently, the results have not been a very positive ones for this defense.
Well, the one thing about this defense is that there's only like one guy makes a play. They're not putting it all together. I mean, you don't have like gang tackling, Joe. You don't have 4 or 5 guys making things happen. You always have one guy, and that's it.
And you see no penetration. Very seldom do you see this defense play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Offensive lines just continue to own them.
Well, that was the major criticism you'd hear from other coaches saying, why aren't they playing an attacking style with those guys, their linebackers and their secondary, but they were very passive. Kennard Lang shaken up, back in the game, 1st and 10. Garrett throws to the sideline, complete to Patrick Jeffers, who grew up in the Dallas area dreaming of being a member of the Dallas Cowboys. They got him in a trade just before the season started. He worked on the scout team. He was terrific as a practice player, finally got a chance to play, and he's come up big.
And, you know, he was on the practice squad with the Denver Broncos, so you know that it was good. Uh-oh. Now, I've seen too many of these. Get him. We could get him just once. Don't be nice to him.
Nobody ever wins in that argument.
I know. They've been going at it for years.
Garrett under pressure. Kennard Lang has him, along with Dan Wilkinson.
You know, I was looking at Boutte and Dan Wilkinson on this play, and they're in the middle of the line. And if you take a look, there really isn't much penetration. What happens is Garrett doesn't get back. Watch this. Now, here are the two guys at the line of scrimmage. They're basically at the line of scrimmage now. And Garrett steps up inside, and Kennard Lang is the guy that makes the play.
When you have smallish defensive ends like Duff and Lang are, You've got to get a push up the middle so that you can run the quarterback out to the quicker ends. They haven't been able to do it.
The defensive ends have been a major problem, too, especially when Lang and Kinney were starting. They were so small. Jeff Ogden is in as a wide receiver for Dallas. Garrett under pressure this time. And they've got him back at the 40-yard line.
That time, Dan Wilkinson did the job. He was the guy that's responsible for this. Now, Duff and those guys make the tackle afterwards, but Dan Wilkinson is the guy that really puts the pressure. He comes up the middle. Watch 95. Inside, he's double-teamed. He breaks the double-team and forces Jason Garrett out to the outside, right into the tackle. That's good defense.
The tackle made by Ndikwe Kalu from the University of Rice. Mitchell waits back at the 15. Fair catch at the 14-yard line. 5:37 to go, third quarter. A 45-yard punt and a beauty by Toby Goen. No return by Brian Mitchell. 20-7, Dallas. We will be back here next Saturday at 4 o'clock, and we'll be on ABC for the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Our playoff game in the NFC wildcard matchup. The Cowboys have swept the season series. Emmitt Smith over 100 in both games. The Cowboys have won 16 of the last 17 regular season meetings. But I tell you right now, the way the Cardinals are playing, that's a very dangerous matchup.
Well, we saw Jake the Snake against Philadelphia, and that was the last time. And I can't wait to see this guy. This guy is exciting.
Well, I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals can wait until the last 16 seconds or the last minute or the last 50 seconds to be able to win a football game. I think they're going to have to play better if they want to try and beat this Cowboy football team. They can't come in here and think that they can win everything at the end.
The great sign for the Dallas Cowboys is the way they have played tonight in a game with realistically nothing on the line. They could not improve their playoff position. They already had the playoff game at home. They wanted to rest some of their starters. Most of the starters played the first half just into the third quarter, and they have played very, very well. Will Dion be able to play? It is doubtful. He would make such a difference if he could. 2nd and 7 for the Redskins. Green to Ellard. Henry Ellard with a first down at the 27. Comes the blitz. Green rolls away from trouble. Throws on the run, too high. Sellers got a hand on it, but couldn't bring it down.
You know, we talked about Dallas being able to rest some of their offensive players, their key players. Right now, they're resting their defensive line, which they really need to do. And they've got their backup people in there. And they're still doing the job.
Right, and the thing that Trent Green is going to have to learn, on 1st and 10, you've got to say to yourself, I don't have a play. Let me just throw it away and come back. That was a bit of a risky pass, trying to force the ball in.
The Redskins really haven't done much offensively since that one drive earlier in the ballgame that netted them 7 points. Davis. And it'll be 3rd and long as Dexter Copley leads the charge, along with George T. Emmitt got the record tonight, and it really thrilled this sellout crowd.
And it thrilled him, too. When we had a chance to visit with him, he was saying that this is really the healthiest he's been. He got excited about this year. He wanted to go to the Pro Bowl. And really, up until about 3 weeks ago, he had a real good, legitimate shot at it. And then their offense went in the tank. But they really have come out and played better tonight.
You know, he was awfully quiet yesterday, Joe. I mean, it wasn't like Emmitt, and, you know, he was really concerned about this offense, and obviously they've done well.
Brian Mitchell is in on 3rd and 6. Green throws underneath. The catch made, but short of the first down up at the 36-yard line. Chris Thomas with the catch, but did not get the first down yardage.
Now you can ask the question, why don't you go and get the distance? And I'll say to you, that is wrong. He should have gotten it.
Wait a minute.
Ask a question.
Okay. Why didn't he go and get the distance?
Well, Paul, because he pulled up short.
I'm glad he...
That was as well orchestrated as I've ever heard a question and answer session.
Yeah.
That was inexcusable there.
Matt Turk to kick to Tyrone. He has just got it out of there sky high. Good thing there's a hole in the roof. Fair catch made it to 25 after a 39-yard punt. Emmitt Smith set the record for career rushing touchdowns in the first half. Got his 124th, eclipsing Marcus Allen's record. Then went on to get his 125th, and the souvenir goes in the box. He's got them all. He wants to auction them off to raise money for charity. That's his current plan.
Actually, it actually is 125. He's gotten 2 tonight. We just wanted to show you the record-breaking number.
Jason Garrett at quarterback as Aikman's night is done. Wants the screen. Williams got it out to the 33. That play didn't look like much and still gained 7 yards.
One thing about the Dallas Cowboys in this particular year, offensively, they've gone through a lot of different changes. A philosophy change because Chan Gailey is there as the offensive coordinator as well as the head coach. And I think you're going to see a lot more efficiency out of this offense. Ernie Mills will come back next year and be a compliment. Billy Davis will have had some playing time, as well as Patrick Jeffries.
Really, it's not easy to implement a new offense, even with veteran offensive personnel. Williams cuts it outside, picks up maybe a yard.
You know, Mike, you make a great point. It's actually more difficult with veteran personnel because especially the Cowboys that have been set in their ways for so long. This is the first time they've really had to make a change. In particular, Michael Irvin. He's averaged 6 touchdowns a year. Although he has 70-plus catches, he still only has 1 touchdown. His role has changed. He's become now a receiver that has to clear out so that other guys can make catches. In the past, they would design the routes to go to Michael to get the big plays.
3rd and a yard. Williams straight up the middle, first down and more. First down, Cowboys at their own 39. Patton and Richard on the stop.
We talked about everybody else blocking. Larry Allen. Flozell Adams, number 76 on Big Daddy. Dan Wilkinson, number 92. I mean, that's just outstanding blocking.
No, it's grabbing.
Well, no, it's not grabbing if you don't get caught.
That's true. I stand corrected.
Okay. Flozell Hotel.
Williams again, and the Redskins that time crashed in. Derek Smith, number 50, came in hard from his linebacker position.
I know it may not be a departure, or it might be a departure for the Redskins, but I really believe that they've got to start committing 6 and 7 men to the line of scrimmage to try and put pressure on the running game and Jason Garrett.
Big Daddy Wilkinson. Now watch him. He's going to take a side. You see him take a side. When he takes a side, he gets penetration and enables Derek Smith to make the play. But if that play goes a little bit wider, it really doesn't do that much good. You've got to take the man on in the hole.
And he takes himself out of the play.
Exactly.
Jason Garrett to throw. Dropped by Jeffers. Guy with great hands who played at Virginia and caught just about everything thrown his way, but not that time. End of the 3rd quarter here in Dallas. The Cowboys continue to hold on to a 13-point lead. Now it's settled. Buffalo at Miami on Saturday in the AFC. The Sunday game will be New England at Jacksonville, and the NFC will be right here on ABC with Arizona against Dallas, and then Sunday in the NFC, Green Bay at San Francisco. That familiar playoff matchup.
And both of those teams are going to have to play better if they want to advance. A lot of teams coming into the playoffs having questions about whether they will be able to hold up and go on.
Minnesota's not one of them. Garrett throws for Ogden. flag down. That's going to be interference called on Tim Denton, the first-year player out of Sam Houston State.
You know, there is a situation when you have another defensive back like Stanley Richard or whoever's back there with you to tell the corner to turn and look, the ball is in the air. I mean, that's where you have to have communication.
Pass interference, 25 defense. First down.
Here's Denton out there. The ball is in the air, and he just turns back in and bumps the receiver.
Part of the problem when you yell at somebody like that is which way do you turn? You know, if you yell at a guy, turn.
Right.
Oh,
right. Well, the other way.
Right.
Obviously, he turned right into him.
26-yard penalty in effect. It takes it to the 30. Jamal Duff was the injured Redskin. And Kelvin Kinney, number 97, checks in at defensive end. Williams hitting the backfield. Wilkinson again got through, got one hand on him, and just hung on. If you're looking for a comeback, the Redskins losing on the road after 3 quarters have lost 26 in a row. The Cowboys winning at home after 3 quarters have won 26 straight. We now return you to your regular program.
This just in.
Garrett for Davis. Darrell Green knocked it away and nearly had another pick. He's had shots at 3 tonight.
You know, look at him laughing, and he's saying to himself, here's another one I could have had, except I had my hands on backwards. Darrell Green, watch on Davis here. He just times this perfectly. Now the ball's hung up in the air, and watch this. Well, look at the timing. He's there and almost makes the play. That's perfect.
Well, you'll see him try and tip it back to himself the way Deion Sanders does so well. Darrell's unable to keep his balance, and he can't quite hang on to it.
He's only 5'8", but he's got some serious hops, and he's got even more serious speed. 3rd and long for Dallas. Garrett airs another one out. Denton, another interference call. If Denton does not turn around, he's going to get one of those every time.
I love that call offensively by Changeli. If you find yourself a pigeon who can't play the ball, you keep throwing it deep all day long. And Denton's going to sooner or later have to turn around and try and make a play on the ball.
Number 25 of the defense. The interference occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
You know, there's just no question of where they were going to go with the ball.
None.
Jason Garrett just sees Denton out there. He's going to throw the ball up in the air. I mean, you've got to turn and look at the ball, and you got to know where you are on the field.
On this drive alone, Denton has been flagged twice for pass interference, and it's cost the Redskins 64 yards.
Ogden did a good job there of trying to make a play on the ball as well, which helps the call.
Williams didn't make it, cut down just at the 1-yard line. Mark Boutte was in his way along with Derek Smith. That's a tough series for Denton. 2 huge interference calls.
You know, the thing about it is when you talk to Redskins yesterday, they were very confident about their football team. And just remember something. They've got their starters who are still in the ball game. And the Dallas Cowboys are doing with backup people.
Fans are not booing. They want Moose Johnston to carry the ball and get the touchdown.
Okay, give it to him.
Williams, and they'll whistle the play dead. Moose Johnston, speaking of him, has just made a tremendous return.
Prior to the snap, false start, 79 to the offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That's Eric Williams, the right tackle. Darrell Johnson, a lot of people thought his career was over. He had to have the vertebrae in his neck fused last year, and everybody around him tried to talk him out of playing. It was amazing. He said, I signed a contract. What I sign, I honor. I'm coming back.
He is one of the guys who is, you can call him stand-up guys. You can call him a character guy. He's the guy that you build the foundation of a football team around, and that's what they did here.
2nd and goal now from the 6. Garrett can't find anybody. Boutte hits him as he throws. Finally got rid of it and threw it away.
You know, if you're wondering why the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, they're still in the game intact, because they don't have anybody else to put in.
That's the biggest part of it. But this is an excellent job by the Redskins secondary this time. Jeffries runs across. Darrell Green is in his zone. He's just waiting back to make a play on the ball. Pounds is on Billy Davis. He's right in his hip pocket. Nowhere to go. Billy's saying, hey, throw it here. Clap it. That's a good job by the secondary.
It's amazing. Receivers always think they're open.
Oh, yeah. They're clapping. They're waving. They're doing everything.
3rd and goal. Shovel pass to Williams. They'll lose a couple of yards on that one. The Redskins with a big goal line stand. And Chan Gailey will send on the field goal unit. That's the kind of thing that will bother a coach, even with backup players in there. When you get an opportunity 1st and goal at the 1, you're supposed to score.
Especially when you have your starting offensive line in there.
And it's interesting. Chan Gailey really doesn't care who has been here in the past doing things. He doesn't, he doesn't care that Michael Irvin hasn't caught more than 1. He doesn't care whether Moose Johnson gets a touchdown. He just wants to win a football game. And like he told us, he ultimately wants to win the Super Bowl.
Cunningham with the field goal. The Cowboys extend their lead to 23-7. Cunningham has hit 3 out of 4 tonight. Back to Texas Stadium after this. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Excite. Excite.com, where you go when you go online. By Heineken, brewed true since 1886. Heineken. By Isuzu, we don't make cars because life is too big for cars. And by 10-10-220. Talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. That drive was 69 yards. 65 came on interference calls. Santa must be lost. Mitchell from the 30, or from the 5, check. And stopped at the 14.
Deion Sanders is so important to this Dallas Cowboy team. We talked about special teams, but here on our ESPN pre-play, I'm going to show you what he means on the defensive side of the ball. Deion can basically take 1/2 of the football field and cover 1 individual. That allows you to use all 10 other people in different places. You can get Woodson up around the line of scrimmage and run support. You can get Teague over to double on the wide receiver. You create a double on the wide receiver, a double on the tight end, and Deion will take anybody else one-on-one.
The Redskins have had terrible field position in the second half from their own 9, their own 7, and twice the 15. And this play will be whistled dead. Deion Sanders, Joe and Paul, elicits the same response. We'll get the referee's
Prior to
call.
the snap, false start, 69, offense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
You ask offensive players about Deion Sanders, defensive players about Barry Sanders, you get the same response. Their eyes get big, and they just start to giggle.
The one thing about Deion is his reputation precedes him to a large degree. People stay away from him just because they know you can throw the ball 8 times at him. You may get 3 completions. You may get 4 balls knocked down, but 1 he may take back. He did it against Jake Plummer in one of the Arizona games.
Skins backed up to their 10. Trent Green to Stephen Davis, who barely got his head around to make that catch, and then it didn't make any difference. Dexter Coakley with that 4.4 speed out to bring him down.
Let's just say one other thing about Deion, though. I mean, of all the places that he affects, because he does do some things on offense, not a real big part of the offense. But when you take him out of special teams, I mean, it affects probably 4 to 5 people.
And look at the special teams. He has a 15-6 average on punt returns, 2 of them for touchdowns. This was going to be, I think, an extremely special year for him in numbers, in yards, and in his performance.
Voted to the Pro Bowl as a starting corner and also the kick returner for the NFC. Green throws back over the middle. Shepard went outside. Green threw inside. Trent Green, who had played so well the last 8 weeks, he had just been on fire with 15 touchdown passes and only 3 interceptions. They have throttled him tonight. He's only thrown for 209 yards.
Mike, by missing the bomb coming out the beginning of the second half, Leslie Shepard just let the ball fall through his hands. It takes an awful lot of air out of the balloon of an offense. You only have about 3 or 4 plays, maybe 2, in a game where you count on big plays. If one is there and a guy drops it, it sets you back.
Well, that one was at least 50 yards if Leslie Shepard makes the catch. The Redskins have called a timeout with 11:01 to go in the ball game. We'll be back to Texas Stadium in a moment. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Texas Stadium for ESPN Sunday Night Football.
I can't believe this is our last one.
Yes,
on
it
ESPN.
is.
It's unbelievable. What a great season. What fun it's been working with you guys. It's been great.
Green under pressure. Got away. Fighting for yardage. Trying to get outside. Got to the 22-yard line.
You know what? This guy reminds me. He really does. We were looking at film the other day. He reminds me a lot of you, Joe.
How?
Well, he's not very tall.
Thank
and he
you.
takes those little short, choppy steps,
right,
and he throws into double coverage.
That was meant as a shot, not at Trent Green. We think Trent Green has a tremendous future.
Yes, he does. He is the guy.
And I had a lousy pass.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
He had a great career.
Teasing you. The end of the year.
I don't know why you're still not playing. Hughes trying to get to the wall. Can't make it. Cut down at the 36. Derek Smith on coverage for the Skins. 7-yard return after a punt of 48. Back with Dallas and Washington after this. Jim Jeffcoat, one of the great names in Dallas Cowboy history. 1 game, sacked Joe Theismann 5 times.
What is going on here?
I didn't even know that was coming.
Ironically, that was the game before
that was my
Joe's
birthday.
career was ended.
Yeah, that was the one just before it, but also here in Texas Stadium. September 9th, 1985 would have to be the lowest point, one of the lowest points of my career. Getting hurt would be. I sat on this bench in a game similar to this one. We were getting beat, and everybody here sang happy birthday to me in this stadium. And I hope they all get pulled in their socks.
Williams across the 40 to the 41.
Oh, we're not done. Oh, how wonderful.
Look, here's a look at Joe.
See those short little, ouch.
1.
Randy White. Oh.
2.
Boy, they took some shots at you.
Is this a complete? No, it's not. Everson Walls.
This one is.
Hey, well, thank you very much. And that's our fun bunch. That was a very special group of guys I had a chance to play with. It was old school.
And you had great hair in those days.
You don't know how many thrills you gave the people in Washington. So many times you won so many big games. We have ragged on you all season long. Well, it's the rhetorical league. Paul has. Let me echo what you guys said. This has been our first full year on ESPN. Joe and I had worked together for a dozen years. Paul joined us this year. It's been an absolute delight to have you with us. And I've never had more fun in my career than working with you two guys this year. It's been great.
I agree. I echo those sentiments completely. Paulie has added an awful lot, and we really enjoy having you around.
Well, I'm just glad to have you
next
guys
year,
around.
I wonder who we're going to get.
I wonder who you get next year. They're going to.
I don't know. I think you've done a pretty good job.
I've enjoyed it, gentlemen. Thank you.
That's all?
9:05 to go in this one. Dallas trying to salt it away. Garrett out in the flat. Williams gets a block downfield and has a first down all the way to the Redskin 39-yard line. I
just don't understand at this point why the Redskins aren't just lining 7 people up and going after Jason Garrett. You're going to run into him as far as running goes. I mean, if the guy's trying to run the ball, you're going to run into him. And certainly you're going to have a chance at maybe getting to Jason Garrett.
So the one thing that I think is really disappointing about the Redskins in this second half, and they had a chance on the first play, Joe, to maybe get a touchdown. They've had 4 possessions, 64 yards, 2 first downs this half, and 11 of those 64 yards was a scramble by Green.
It has not been the Redskins' finest hour after winning 6 of the last 8 games. Williams again plunging forward to the 35-yard line. 8:14 to go.
Wait a minute. I want to get taller.
You can't.
Well, I gotta get taller.
Sit down. Relax. Enjoy it.
Okay, I am enjoying it.
It's been a lot of fun.
I have to say this. I've really enjoyed this year. I have. I mean, the guys we work with, everybody here, everybody around us.
Come on, doing good. Keep going. You're doing well.
More complimentary.
Here, let me turn the page. The other stuff I wrote. Go ahead.
You are a sick man.
Williams into traffic. The people that you don't see are the people who support us so strongly. Our producer, Fred Godelli, our director, Mark Payton. They are the best. John Aronoff, our spotter up here in the booth. Mark Fredrickson, who I have worked with forever, our statistician.
Our camera crew. Everybody out there that works in all kinds of weather, all kinds of temperatures.
Our replay producer, Thurn in research. Mark Fredrickson, as I said, our statistician. Our spotters, John Aronoff, Andy Clark, and Frazier Maxwell. Technical managers, Jeff Willis, Doug Dodson, Mike Armada. Our operation producers, Paul DePietro and Tom Giannakis. These guys work so hard, and we ask so much of them. It is a delight to be able to mention their names on television.
And Big Daddy makes a big play.
Yeah, Dan Wilkinson has continued to play hard. And when Dana Stubblefield comes back next year, along with Dan Wilkinson, they will have had the time to spend together. Possibly it'll be in a new system, a new situation. Who knows? But they will have at least gotten to know one another in this year, which I think is very important.
And they will certainly be expected to produce more than they have this year, especially with all the money they're being paid. Garrett on 4th and 7 over the middle, and Davis had it and dropped it. Billy Davis on a strike from Jason Garrett, couldn't hold it.
You know, the bad part about this is the quarterback, Jason Garrett, stands up in the pocket, makes the throw, and then gets nailed, and you drop the football.
Timeout on the field.
6:16 to go in the ball game. Dallas in control. There is Gus Frerotte, the Redskins' former starting quarterback. This might be the last night of his career wearing burgundy and gold. He is asked to be traded if he's not going to be the starter. And based on what Trent Green has done this year, you would have to think Trent Green will go into camp as the starter for the Redskins. Throws too high this time for his tight end, Steven Alexander.
Back to Gus Frerotte. He's got 2 years left on his contract. I think that he and a guy like Scott Mitchell, both of them will probably wind up wearing different uniforms, and it'll be good for them. Gus Frerotte has really been cast into a situation with the Redskins where he's had to learn on the run. Trent Green, as we talked about, had the good fortune to sit and watch and learn, like we saw Brett Favre do, like we've seen different quarterbacks, like Tennessee did with Steve McNair. Sit him for a while, and he's had to come in and play.
And Trent Green is very grateful for the time that he has had to learn as a quarterback. Well, Thomas makes this catch up to the 48-yard line. And quarterbacks are in such demand that even if you have failed somewhere else, the way Frerotte has this year, the way Scott Mitchell has, you're going to be in demand somewhere else.
Well, the other thing, too, is Norv Turner told us about Trent Green. He said, if he's here, if Norv Turner's here, this is his quarterback.
I mean, he should be. You look at the numbers he's put up, the performance up until tonight in the last 8 games, he's earned that right. But you're absolutely right, Mike. I think both Scott Mitchell and Gus Frerotte will go on, and the change will be good for them. Maybe they're in a system that they understand and they can operate in efficiently. The opportunities can be presented. You just have to capitalize on it.
When Frerotte first got the chance to play, I thought he was the best young quarterback I ever saw at going to second and third receivers. He had a tremendous ability to read defense. They'll whistle this play dead with 5:09 to go in the game.
Now this is
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Coming up next, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne, and we all remember where we were on Dan's 2000th broadcast. Their top stories, the NFL playoff picture, an upset in college basketball, in our conversation with Chan Gailey. That's followed by NFL primetime. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson with all the highlights of all the day's games.
Well, we've seen that poster of old school with both John and myself there. Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach, is one of the old school guys, and he's had to work with a lot of different combinations up front.
That's old tough school. Green hit as he throws, and it falls harmlessly in the middle of 3 Dallas Cowboys. Greg Ellis was putting the pressure on.
You know, this is the Redskins coaching staff, and I said it to Norm yesterday. I said, it's like all you guys are sitting in limbo. They have no idea what's going to happen.
No, but I do believe that. I believe that they have decided that the ownership issue in Washington will be decided before the Super Bowl. So the Redskins will have a direction. San Francisco, of course, is still up in the air as to what direction and what's going on out there.
The feeling is if John Kent Cook retains control of the Washington Redskins, that Norv Turner has saved his job by the way his team has played in the second half of the season. And I think that would be a fair evaluation to make. All bets are off if a new owner comes in, because very often the new owner wants to bring in his people.
And the guy that really is the wild card that sets everything in motion is Mike Holmgren. What is Mike Holmgren going to do? What does Mike want to do? I think everybody will wait and see what happens after that.
Whatever he wants to do.
That's going to be it.
Of course, John Kent Cook's father's name is Jack Kent Cook is on the stadium. He said, if I lose it, let some other SOB try to take it off. Mitchell wants to throw the halfback pass. Intended for Alexander, incomplete. Flag is down. George Teague with great coverage. That might be offensive interference, and Alexander is hurt.
You know, Alexander gets caught at the line of scrimmage. He got knocked down, and that's what took so long on this play for Mitchell to throw it. Alexander was on the ground, had to get back up.
There is no penalty on the play. Pass is incomplete. First down, Dallas.
I think that's a great call because George Teague had perfect position on it.
Here comes the pass. George is looking back, doing a nice job. Okay, now here's my question, guys. I totally agree with the result of the call. What did he see to make him throw the flag? I guess that's the question that I have to see. There's no contact. George is looking back. Steven reaches over and gets his hand on the ball.
Offensively or defensively, there was nothing wrong with the play.
Alexander, one of the bright young stars of the Redskins, shaken up. And it looks like the Cowboys, when Alexander is finally able to make his way off the field in the control of the trainer Bubba Tyre, the Dallas Cowboys will have a new quarterback in Mike Quinn.
With Jamie Asher as their tight end in the beginning of the season, Steven Alexander really didn't know what his role was going to be. But as the season went on, he grew more and more comfortable, became a bigger part of Trent Green's repertoire to throw the football to.
You know, every place we go, someone's smart enough to get on camera by saying Sports Center's next. Every stadium we've been in.
Another big guy, Mike Quinn.
Out of Stephen F. Austin. He has played sparingly this year, has not thrown a pass, but he's run 4 times. Williams still the running back. He'll get the carry. Straight up the middle across midfield to the Redskin 48-yard line. Clock working down toward 4 minutes. Only one team has finished the season with fewer turnovers than games played. The 90 Giants. Right now, the Cowboys 15 in 16 games. That's pretty good.
You know what that does? That keeps you in games. It gives you a chance to play 60 minutes of football, and your defense can win it at the end. Your offense can make a play. Your kicker can make a play. So many options are open to you. You can stay in a game.
Williams, and that's a first down for the Cowboys.
I like that. 8-0, first team ever. to go 8-0 in the NFC East.
Against an admittedly weak division, the weakest in football, but 8-0 nonetheless.
Yes. That's a tremendous accomplishment.
You know,
and then taking this team into the playoffs, because there was an awful lot of concern about the offense of this football team and the defense.
I still think there has to be a concern without Deion going into the playoffs. I mean, they're going to have other people make plays for him.
And as much as people criticize the weakness of the NFC East, keep in mind that Chan Gailey took over a team that last year was 6-10 against the same teams and turned them around to 10-6 and won the division. He has certainly made a difference in this organization. He is a very disciplined man who demands discipline from his players, and he's got it.
I love what he said. We're talking about Michael Irvin catching 72 balls, going in, only 1 touchdown. I love what he said.
So?
That'll happen.
That happens. That'll happen. It did.
It did happen.
And he's not in the least concerned about
No.
it. And amazingly, neither is Michael Irvin. He has really taken to this well. Players want to win. I think that's the bottom line, especially after you've been in the league a while. We have reached the 2-minute warning here at Texas Stadium in Irving. The Cowboys on their way to their 10th win. Cowboys up 23-7. You need 2 tickets for Miami? Well, you can certainly get tickets for Dallas here next week. They are not sold out yet, and Jerry Jones, who has control of everything for the Dallas Cowboys, will be having some playoff tickets on sale.
All he has to do is go to the airport, get 2 tickets over there.
Get
Not
more than
those
2
tickets.
Get all you want.
They would love to have Deion back, but they don't know. A dislocated big toe, and sometimes those things last a long time.
I told him he ought to call Reggie White. Remember, I mean, Reggie, we saw him last year when he had that hamstring problem and came back in a phenomenal way.
Williams driven out of bounds inside the 30. I think you're missing the point. Reggie White didn't do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He needs to make a call to somebody else.
He needs to call Reggie to get the proper connection so that it can get done. That's what I'm saying.
It's an unlisted number.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the playoff picture of the AFC setup. Buffalo against Miami. That will be at Saturday at 12:30. Sunday at 12:35. New England at Jacksonville, the wild card in the NFC. Arizona at Dallas. We'll be here for that one. Green Bay at San Francisco. That is the Sunday game in the NFC. Williams again, who has had a big night in that time, ran right into Dan Wilkinson and bounced backwards.
Dan Wilkinson ended up in the hole, and Jeremy Williams hit him right in the stomach. I mean, this is just a great play. He beats Tony Hudson. Watch Dan Wilkinson. Watch him. He gets hit right. Boom. Didn't even tackle him.
Bounced right off the front porch.
Well, last time these 2 teams played earlier in the year, the Cowboys had each of their backs go over 100 yards rushing. Emmitt Smith didn't quite get there tonight, but certainly got close.
Paul, have you had your 45?
Yes, I have. We also saw my name wrong.
It's the mention that counts.
No, that's why I didn't mention it.
Williams down to the 25-yard line.
You're very sensitive about that.
Well, there needs to be Sports Centers. It's not
Sports Center next.
Yes, it is. In only 35 seconds. Dallas will kill the clock and continue their domination of their arch rival, the Washington Redskins. They'll win it tonight 23-7, and they will go into the playoffs on an up note, Joe.
They will, and they've got to feel good about what they've accomplished tonight. Chan Gailey basically got from his football team what he wanted to. North Turner, on the other hand, did not see the fire that he had in his football team the last 8 weeks.
And Troy Aikman said it best yesterday. He said, we've got to do better offensively, and they did.
Our final score, Dallas 23, Washington 7. Coming up next, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne with a complete wrap-up of the day in sports. For Joe Theismann, Paul Maguire, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Irving, Texas. This has been a presentation of ESPN. the worldwide leader in sports.